Hello again, my HTD family. Thanks for joining me today on Hope and Truth Daily. Before I begin, as always, I want to remind you guys, hit like, share, and subscribe. You can either do that now or you can do it after the video. I would encourage you guys to go ahead and hit some of that stuff now. That way, into the video, you don't forget, okay? Make sure you share this video on your social media so your friends get a chance to see this message. You never know if it's something they need to hear today. So today I want to speak to you about a teaching of Jesus that challenges our instincts, pretty much defies worldly logic, yet it holds the power to transform hearts and relationships. It's the principle of turning the other cheek. Turning the other cheek, which is also our topic today. So in Matthew chapter 5, verse 39, Jesus says this. Matthew chapter 5, verse 39. Jesus says, "But I say to you, do not show opposition against an evil person. But whosoever slaps you on your right cheek, turn the other toward him also." Let me read that again. "But I say to you, do not show opposition against an evil person. But whoever slaps you on your right cheek, turn the other toward him also." Now, at first glance, this teaching might seem radical or even impossible for some of us. Why should we be willing to expose ourselves to more harm? I mean, that's what he's saying. If someone's going to slap you on your right cheek, turn and let them slap the other cheek. Doesn't turning the other cheek mean allowing others to take advantage of us? To understand the words of Jesus, we really need to dig deeper, okay? Go deeper into this. You see, this verse isn't a call to weakness, but to a strength rooted in love and grace. In the culture of the time, the culture of Jesus' time, a slap on the right cheek was more than just an act of violence. It was a deep insult. When someone slapped you on the right cheek, that was a deep insult. It was a statement meant to demean and degrade the person being slapped. And by instructing his followers to turn the other cheek, Jesus is teaching us to rise above retaliation, to reject that cycle of vengeance, and to respond in a way that reflects God's love. Turning the other cheek isn't about passivity or surrendering to injustice. It's about choosing a higher path, a path that refuses to be controlled by anger or hatred. It's an invitation to show dignity and strength in the face of humiliation, to demonstrate that our worth isn't defined by others' actions, but by God's love for us. This principle, it's profoundly countercultural. Our natural response to any offense, basically, is often to fight back, to defend our pride, or to demand justice on our own terms. But Jesus calls us to a different way. He calls us to respond with grace, not because the other person deserves it, but because it's a reflection of God's heart. Now imagine, I need a drink, guys, give me a second. Imagine the power of this response, guys. Imagine the power of this response. When we turn the other cheek, we refuse to let bitterness take root in our hearts. Instead of escalating conflict, we choose to be peacemakers, I guess. Instead of mirroring someone's anger or hostility, we mirror God's grace and forgiveness. In doing so, we create an opportunity for transformation, not just in ourselves, but in those who wrong us. Now, I won't pretend this is easy. It's definitely not been easy for me. Turning the other cheek requires humility. It requires courage and trust in God. It doesn't mean we ignore injustice or fail to seek accountability when necessary, but it does mean we approach conflict with a spirit of love rather than retaliation. If you're wondering how to live this out in practical terms, remember that turning the other cheek can take many forms. It's not just about getting smacked in the face. It might mean choosing to respond calmly to harsh words, or offering forgiveness instead of holding a grudge, or even praying for someone who's hurt you. These actions aren't signs of weakness, they're acts of spiritual strength. And as we seek to live out this teaching, let us affirm this truth with today's affirmation. Today's affirmation is this: I choose grace. I reflect love. I rise above offense. I choose grace. I reflect love. I rise above offense. Say it with me, guys, and type it in the comment section below. Let's say it together. I choose grace. I reflect love. I rise above offense. Write that in the comments below. Let these words remind us of the power we have to overcome evil with good, to respond to insults with dignity, and to show the world a better way. As we close, let's remember that Jesus himself modeled this principle perfectly. He endured insult and suffering, and his response was always one of love and forgiveness. Always. When we turn the other cheek, we walk in his footsteps. We embody the truth that love is greater than hate and grace is stronger than vengeance. Amen. Amen. Say amen with me, guys. Type it in the comments section below also. Say it with me now. Amen. So please like, share, and subscribe to this message, guys. Okay, or subscribe to my channel. Like and share the message and subscribe to my channel. Okay? Thank you. And may God give us the strength to choose love over retaliation and grace over anger and peace over conflict. Thanks again, and God bless you all.